What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. In today's video we're going to be checking out this 2025 Hyundai IONIQ 5N. This one's finished in Atlas White with an MSRP around $68,000. Let's get right into this electric car. To be honest, this has got to be the coolest EV out there. This actually has character. It is a fun car, so let's get right into it. Taking a look at the performance specifications for this 2025 Hyundai IONIQ 5N, this is going to feature an 84 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery. Also has a max range of 221 miles. Now, standard horsepower on this is 601, standard torque is 545. However, with the N-Grin boost, which is about a 10-second burst of extra power, it bumps things up to 641 horsepower and 568 pound-feet of torque. This is all-wheel drive with a curb weight around 4,800 pounds and 0 to 60 time is 3.2 seconds, topping out over 160 miles an hour. The overall length is 185.6 inches with a wheelbase at 118.1, width is 76.4, and height is 62.4 inches. On to the styling with the IONIQ 5N. While this shares the same style as the standard IONIQ 5, to me this looks so much cooler. The body kit on it really makes this look like an 80s inspired rally car. You're gonna get this really nice dark gray trim underneath the headlights, and they have a lot of this really cool square shape throughout it. You have these stripes, the N logo, a nice red stripe in the center with the Hyundai badge right up in front. There's gonna be parking sensors in the front, active grille shutters, and then massive openings to provide cooling. More of this dark gray trim, some gloss black, and then more of the red accents with functional air inlets to let air pass through this front bumper. So overall, the front end design definitely is really sporty. It might be a bit of an acquired taste, but I think it actually is really cool. The hood is kind of a clamshell design as well. Very flat panel overall with the sharp lines on the far corners, and it dips down to the side fender arches. You're gonna see the nice winglets on the side and then a sweet set of 21-inch wheels, multi-spoke look with a two-tone color. You have your massive brake caliper up in front, finished off in more of the red, and then a nice arch for this front fender arch. You're gonna get really sharp body lines throughout the side, one cutting diagonally down, and then the side skirt has more of the red trim, finish off with the gloss black. You're gonna see the N badge in back with some nice trim for the rear fender, and then flush mounted door handles that will pop outwards as you approach the vehicle. We have power folding side mirrors finished in gloss black, LED turn signal along with a side view camera, and then all gloss black trim throughout the windows with a smooth roof as well as a shark fin antenna. You can also see how the integrated spoiler is designed. And then for the side profile, once again, it's very boxy, got a short rear overhang, short front overhang, just giving it a really sweet side profile overall. Coming around to the back, you can see how that sharp line cuts towards those LED taillights, and then we have more of this gloss black trim and a lot of those square shapes throughout the lighting. We have a huge rear diffuser, parking sensors, all the red accents, IONIQ 5 name, and then the really cool square shape throughout these taillights. Got the Hyundai badge in back, and then a really nice design with some gloss black trim throughout the up-mounted spoiler. And it really comes together. While it's a quirky looking vehicle, honestly, this comes together so well. It looks super cool. And then as we take a look at the key fob, you're gonna get your typical buttons, lock, unlock, remote start. We also have the trunk on the back. Now if I go ahead and lock it, you can see how everything folds down. And then when you walk up to it, it'll automatically unlock. And we can check out the interior with these sweet door handles. So this is gonna get the nice black leather interior with Alcantara accents. And of course, there's gonna be that light blue color throughout it. For the door panel, finished off in black, we have this soft touch up above with the blue stitching, more of the soft touch padding, and then I really like the textures and materials you're gonna get. You have all of your controls down here, windows and mirrors, release handle as well. Ambient lighting is surrounding that Bose audio speaker, there's storage down below. And then you have more of those square shapes throughout all the pedals, as well as the nice side sills. Manual controls for these seats, but these are nice buckets. You're gonna get the blue stitching, smooth black leather, and then perforated Alcantara throughout the center. So really nice design all throughout it. Got the N badge up above with some gray trim, single piece backs to give it that sporty look. And then a really cool looking sporty 3-spoke steering wheel with the perforated leather, blue stitching, and then all the fun buttons. And then now inside the 2025 Hyundai IONIQ 5N, keep my foot on the brake, and go ahead and fire it up. All the screens are gonna turn on. For the steering wheel, you're gonna get that N badge right in the center. Then we have two different N icons on the left and right side. On the left side, we have some typical controls for all of the cruise control settings, steering intervention, lane keeping, and forward pacing. We also have controls on the right for Bluetooth and audio. So on the left side, we're gonna get our drive mode. You can just go through your 3 typical modes, Eco, Sport, and Normal. Now with all that, we can press these two buttons. Pressing this icon gets you into this really cool display where you can see the massive tach. We also have the power distribution on the right side, some vitals over on the left side as well. Now when I go ahead and click this icon, you might be able to hear that and see that. We've now turned on basically the engine of this car. It sounds and feels kind of like it's a gas car. We can exit out by just going back into a normal mode, and then you can see the tach on this right side. So whenever I tap the right end button, that basically turns on and off the engine sounds, which is really cool. And of course you can rev it in either one and then have the fun icon as well with or without the sound. Now for the typical screens, you're gonna get the speedometer on the left side, we have range on the right, and then if I scroll through the screen, we have a lot of information that's gonna pop up like you would expect in your typical Hyundai. So all sorts of good information about the vehicle. You can continue scrolling, see a couple more things. And then on the right side, we're gonna get the stock for all of the windshield wipers. And then on the left side, we have some headlights as well. There are paddle shifters, which will either control the regenerative braking or the simulated transmission, which we'll see in a little bit. Down below, we have our park and brake, auto hold. We have your charge cap, the rear trunk, traction, and interior dimming. One of your air vents, just some smooth material throughout the dashboard. And then I like the blue stitching with the soft touch, a blue stripe for where those air vents are. And then in the center, we have some climate controls that'll pop up. All of your basic information, once again, that you're used to seeing on all of the Hyundai vehicles. There are some shortcuts down below, so I can easily tap the home icon. We have the N mode, which will get you into a nice screen with some of the performance information throughout the car. You can adjust all that, even adjust your torque distribution. You can scroll right and left and see a couple more things popping up. Climate control is going to be these screen buttons, and you have just these touch sensitive icons, which is actually not that hard to use. We have temperature on the left side, we can see our zones down here, the fan speed, and then all the different controls with more shortcuts. There's going to be extra plugs throughout the center, storage, wireless phone charging, shortcut to your camera system and parking. And when I go into reverse, we have a pretty good camera system with a top-down view, several different views you can play with as well. And then there's even a 360 camera view that you can easily scroll around the vehicle. Just tapping the P button, go back into park. There's extra plugs throughout the center console, and then a lot of storage throughout the center with two deployable cup holders, which is a great touch to see. On the armrest, we can pull this up, got a little bit of a hidden space, and then we have a nice glove box over here with a very large bucket. Well, let's look at the interior. To be honest, this is pretty sporty, pretty good fit and finish as well for nearly 70 grand. And then at night, the lighting looks nice. Roomy up here as well, simple headliner, dome lights up above, and then garage door buttons underneath the mirror. Moving on to the rear seat space, if I grab the door handle and open it up, the door panel is finished off like we see up front. You got this soft touch plastic material, and then you have the padding with this blue stitching and that cool checkered material. Your window control, speaker down below, even the N logo down on the door sill, and then manual controls once again for the back seats. You have the smooth leather along with the nice perforated Alcantara material. This can also seat 3 people. In the center, we can pull this down. You're going to get an armrest along with some cup holders. There's USB ports throughout the center, and then we have our air vents located right back here. From here, we can grab the recline lever, pull that, and get these seats to fold nice and flat for maximum cargo space. So hopping into the back seat with the IONIQ 5. So sitting here at 5'11", I definitely have really good headroom. Even with the driver's seat at my height, I have really good knee room and foot room. And then if I go ahead and pull the recline lever, these seats recline a lot. So honestly, this could be a pretty decent just family vehicle in general. The bases are pretty good. They're supporting my legs decently, a little on the short side, but overall, this is actually a pretty good. The air vents work great in this car. You can fit rear-facing car seats in here. So it's actually a very practical, useful family car. And of course, you have a ton of power. Moving on to the cargo space, there's going to be a button on the key fob. I can just hold that. The power liftgate is going to automatically open up. There's also going to be a button sitting right next to your backup camera. So looking at this with the seats in the upright position, you can see a little bit of the configurations. There's a lot of good recline angle. You get about 26.1 cubic feet of cargo volume in this configuration. We can even pull the floor up. We just have our charging equipment down here. There's going to be a light over on this left side with a 12-volt plug. And then over on the right side, if we go ahead and open that, you just have an emergency release. And then from here, you're gonna have to go into the interior to pull these seats down. And with them down, you're over 59 cubic feet of cargo volume now. So it really makes this a pretty practical car. We can just press the button up here to start closing up that lift gate. And then take a look once again inside, even with the seats at a normal spot, we have tons of space up in front and just a really good area for cargo and people in the back of this car. All right, so setting off now in the Hyundai IONIQ 5N. This is a car I have been really excited about checking out due to the fun aspects of it. So right now I'm in normal mode. This drives like your typical electric car. It is fast, which is awesome. You have the 3 normal drive modes. When you go into eco mode, it's a pretty conservative car. The throttle's very light. You know, it's a very normal car to drive. Each drive mode, of course, is going to bump it up more and more with the response you're gonna get. Now, some of the normal aspects to it, it's comfortable. I like these bucket seats. Obviously, they're just manual, a little bit stiffer than your typical IONIQ 5 is gonna be, but I find them really comfortable. You have a good view around, good mirrors, windshield, all that good stuff. It's pretty easy, honestly, to see around this car. So no complaints. Even using the technology, while I'm not the biggest fan of these like touch sensitive icons, I've gotten used to these pretty easily, and it's actually a pretty simple setup to use. Even going into your climate and your seats, it's really nothing too difficult. So it's just a nice, normal electric car. Now, we can go into this mode. This is basically the N drive mode, still fully electric, normal driving. So you're not gonna get any of the shifting or anything like that just yet when you're just in this specific mode. And then of course we can toggle this into the more fun displays. But this is gonna be, you know, a pretty much full power mode. That thing's really packs a punch. Now, when you're in these modes, you can tap the NGB, which gives you the 10-second boost of all the power in this car, which is really cool. That does basically shut off any of the engine stuff to where it's pure, full, fast electric car. So cool to see you go back and forth between the electric drive modes. Now, what really sets this car apart is this one over here. As you just saw, the range turned into a tachometer. It's literally like I'm in a car. As I slow down, you can hear it downshift. And you can hear it upshift. That is super cool. We can go into the race mode to get a better idea of that. And when you hit one of the paddle shifters, you're now driving this like it's a dual clutch. It literally feels like it has a transmission in it, which is really crazy. And the overall handling, this car handles really good too for what it is. And what's funny, if you go into a high gear, you can lug the engine. Like in 7th gear, it literally sounds like I am lugging it. And what's also funny, you can bounce off the rev limiter. It literally drives like a normal car. That is so funny. It feels like I'm gonna blow the engine up, but there's no engine. It's all superficial. There's a lurch between gear changes. You hear the audio. And then really quickly you can turn everything back off and we're in a normal electric car. So the fun factor, the way this car drives is unlike anything else. This is absolutely a blast. I've been smiling ear to ear. So my honest thoughts now behind the wheel of the IONIQ 5N. I have been very eagerly waiting to drive this car because I am an enthusiast. I love sports cars. I like my turbos, my V10s, my single clutch automated manuals, my 6-speed manuals. That's the kind of car I like. I'm not an electric car fan, to be quite honest. The main reason is because 99% of electric cars are all the same. They just drive the same. Whether it's an Audi sedan, whether it's a Hyundai sedan, or whatever other brand, they all basically are the same cars. Just pick the one that looks the nicest inside and out and pick your power level and price. There's no character to electric cars. They still have their place. I mean, it is enjoyable to zip around town with them. I get it. I can see the appeal. This car cranks it up a notch. I'm into normal electric mode right now, and once again, we're in a typical electric car. I have an insane amount of acceleration, so around town I can zip through. On the highway I can do whatever I need to do. I like that aspect. But what really sets us apart, when you turn the engine on, it feels like it's a dual clutch. Even right there in automatic mode, downshifting and upshifting under acceleration, there's a little feeling between those shifts. It's very, very well done. And the funny thing is, I know this is all fake, and in fact, this stuff slows the electric car down. With that said though, it's still mind-blowingly fast. Who cares if it's a tenth of a second slower because it's now interrupting its power? That adds fun, it adds character, it adds drama, and even though it's fake, it's not trying to be real, but it's doing such a good job at feeling real. I am just blown away with how they could program it that I love it. It is so much fun. And that's coming from me who likes old school cars. But when you're in the race mode, everything full on, honestly, if you gave this to someone who had no clue what it was and said this was the mode, aside from the engine sounds definitely sounding fake, they're not trying to be real, but they kind of are. You know, it feels just like a normal car the way it drives. And it is funny, if you redline it and hold the rev limiter, you think you're gonna blow it up, but there's nothing to blow up. And once you hit the paddle, all the power comes back. Like, it literally stops me at 40. And then when you do that, you just hit the paddle shifter, the full power comes again as it continues to accelerate. It is wild how good this drives as if it were a dual clutch with a very powerful engine. I've literally been smiling so much that this has got to be my favorite electric car I think I've ever driven just because of this transmission design. It's even crazy, if I'm in a high gear, I can lug it. You can hear me bogging it. That's just wild. But it lurches between the gears, it feels real. Even downshifting, you'll feel it a little bit. It is so cool. It is literally so cool. I sound like a broken record, but I'm very impressed with just the whole tuning of everything. And if you don't want that, you can still drive it in the full electric fast mode to where you just floor it and you just have that mind-blowing acceleration that puts the blood in the back of your mind and you just accelerate beyond belief. So the way they have done this car is mind-blowing. More electric cars need to have this. While it is counterintuitive, given the electric car fans just think straight line speed is everything, the character is what you're getting in this, and that makes it fun to drive. And I think the electric car fans don't quite understand that aspect. There's more to driving than just straight line speed. These days, any car can go fast in a straight line. You can buy a used Tesla Model 3 for 15 grand and beat a Bugatti. Okay, so straight line speed just isn't all too thrilling anymore because it's so easy. The fun factor comes alive with obviously a good handling car, a good riding car, but something that just gives you that engagement level. And this, while it's fake, is really engaging and fun to drive. I don't have complaints. I think it is just really fun. And it makes me want to drive this car every single day. I've had this for a week now and I am really impressed with it. And when you take into consideration, you can still go into normal EV mode, zip into the store and back. You can just zip around. It's comfortable, it's spacious, it does everything it needs to do. So this is such a well-rounded electric car. Aside from the range being kind of limited due to its insane performance, you're kind of going to expect that from a car like this. But I have just nothing bad to say about this car. It is just so cool. It is well done. The program is just fantastic. But there you guys go, the 2025 Hyundai IONIQ 5N. I am speechless. This car is so cool. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for plenty more content, and I'll see you all in the next video.